The last session we completed few programs, right? Some programs we completed, right? So let me open our workspace folder first. I think this is not in this mission I didn't write, right? Okay, let me create a new workspace folder for us. Let's go to workspace folder. Let me create a new folder for us. Java 13, right? Yeah, let me open that folder using Visual Studio Code. At this moment, I want to use this editor. In future, I'm going to use some IDEs. Okay. So open folder. Now, open this. Okay. So what we did in the last session, I mean it's Friday. What we did, just within 5 minutes, you can complete those. We written like some hello world program, right? So just I written like test dot, okay, or hello dot Java, hello dot Java. Okay. After that, just I want to write one hello world program. So what is the syntax you need to follow? If it is like a Java, first what we have to do? Can I write like a class? What's my class? Okay. Class name can be anything. Okay. Hello. When the class name and file name should be same. When the class name and file name should be same. For example, if I write like this, okay, no issues. If I write like this, there has no issues. But whenever you write something like this, if the class is like a public, okay, if I save this one, see how it's done to be. Okay, here hello.java, here public class test, public class test. Now tell me, if I run this program, if I compile this program, will it compile or not compile? Will it compile or not compile? Java C. Hello.java. Okay, if you run this one, see, class test is public. Okay, class test is public, should be declared in a file name as test.java or not. Okay, this class is like a public, so that the file name should be what? The file name should be declared like a test.java or not. So make sure, okay, whenever you write a public class, your class name should be same as like a file name. How many classes you can write in a file? Any number of classes you can write it. Okay, I have a class tester, you can write it. Any number of classes you can write it, no problem. Now see, okay, you can write it. But if I write one more public class here, one more public class here, is it valid syntax or invalid syntax? Is it
Invalid.
It's again invalid. Why? Because again class test is like a public. Okay, here it is satisfied. My class name and file name both are like same. But if you come to this one, here my class test is like a public, should be declared in a file named test.java or not. So make sure you should have to write only one file as like a public. Okay, in the file, only one class should be like a public class or not. Okay, now done. The next one is what? Come on. If it is like a Java, syntactically, if you want to write your Java program, Okay, if you want to execute your Java program, you know the steps. First, you have to write the source code, and then you have to write, okay, whatever the source code you written, you have to compile it. Once my compilation is done, you have to run, and then you can see the output. That is the procedure you have to follow in the development mode or not. Okay, now whenever it's like compiled, okay, see this, just okay, you can write like this. Okay, whenever you compile this one, you can create, if you can observe here, okay, there has one dot class file generated or not. This dot class file, you can say like a compiled version of your source code. Now if you come here, now see java c hello.java, now see the dot class file generated or not, the dot class file generated. Okay, now once it is generated, it's not like human readable format, it's like a machine readable format, you can say. It's not like a human readable, it's like a machine readable, it's like a compiled code. Now, once you have the compiled code, just I want to run that code. Okay, if once you have the compiled code, just I want to run that code. So how we can run that code?
Java space class name.
Okay, just you can run it. Okay, Java. Okay, is the command. Just you can run your dot class file.
Yes.
My dot class file name is like hello. You can run it. Now, whenever you run, everyone knows this one. You can get one error. What is that error? Whenever you run this one, who come into the picture? Whenever you run this program,
JVM,
JVM.
JVM is always looking for what? JVM is always looking for what? Okay,
main method.
this takes this class. In this class, okay, it is going to call the main method or not. How the JVM program looks like? Okay, they taken your class. Okay, here, what is my class name? Hello is my class. Once you have the hello class, they are going to call one method. What is the method? Main method. How they called? The class member, how they called? With object or with class name, they called in the JVM. In the JVM, they called
With class name.
with the class name. Okay, so already JVM program they written. JVM program, okay, written. Already this is written. So that in the hello, you have to write one main method. That main method should be what? That main method should be what? Able to access using a class name means that main method should be a static or not. So that make sure, okay, main method should be there. So JVM already written the program. They are looking for the main method. Okay, they try to call, okay, they called by using class name. Whenever the main method is not there, public static void main, okay, this method not found, main method not found error, you can get it. Main method not found error, you can get it. Now this is when at runtime, at syntax, at compile time, when you get this error. This error, when you get it, at compile time, no. Compile time
At
means
runtime.
the syntax is like valid or not. Syntax valid is nothing but one class. Okay, they created a class or class name. If you have the access modifier, you can add it. My class may contains methods, may not contains the methods. May contains variable, may not contains the variables. Those are valid syntax or not. It is going to check. This is like 100% valid. So compile time errors, no. But while running the program, JVM come into the picture. My JVM is looking for what? JVM is looking for the main method. They already called using the class name. That's the reason you have to write one method. What is the syntax? Method syntax in Java. Access
It
modifier. Okay, the next one is like return type. The next one is like your method name. If you have the arguments list, you have to add the arguments list. Now, I created like one simple method like this. Is it like if they are looking for the main method, you said I written like a main method only, but is it like valid main method? What my JVM is looking for? No, right. My JVM call the main method using the class name. That means this main method should be what?
static.
Should be static. The main method should be static. Okay, whenever you written something like this, okay, now see, now it's like a static only, but okay, the main method, my JVM people pass some data, yes, no, okay, they called, that's okay, fine. They called the method by passing some parameters or not, okay. passing some parameters or not. Which parameters they passed? Okay, some stringified values, a list of, okay, array of strings they passed or not. So the array of strings you not hold, that the reason, okay, they gives me an error or not. They are looking for the main method, okay, with the static, okay, with some parameters list or not. The parameters are like which type? Can I write like a int a? Can I write like this is also parameter, right? Okay, is it valid syntax or invalid syntax? Okay, no. Okay, whenever you add the source code changes, then the time you have to do compilation again. Java C, my hello dot Java, and my compilation is completed. Java hello. Java hello. No, see, main method is not found. Again, same way, because they are looking for the main method with the static modifier with some parameters. That parameter type is what you know. That parameter type is like a string. Okay. Is it valid or invalid? Valid or invalid?
Invalid, sir.
Okay,
I
again,
think we need array.
because they passed only one string of, okay, string, multiple string values. So they passed multiple string values. If we pass like multiple string values, then that time you have to do what? You have to hold that one as like a array of strings or not. So if I write, if I compile this one, okay, so hello dot Java. Now if you come here, Java hello Java, the class name dot class file hello. Now see this, there is no output, at the same time there is no runtime error or not. Okay, now if I make it like a private, if I make it like a private, it's like a valid syntax or invalid syntax? Is it like
Valid
valid
syntax.
syntax or invalid syntax? Okay, syntactically it's valid. Why? Because as per syntax, access modifier and then return type and then method and arguments list. If you have any other okay, any other keywords, if you want to add it, you can add it. Syntactically 100% valid. But whenever you run, okay, hello, whenever you run this program, hello, then the time what happened? Main method not found in the class all. Why? Because, okay, my JVM looking for the main method inside the class or from outside the class. JVM is a separate program, not your program, right? So my JVM is looking for the main method, okay, outside the hello or not. Yes or no? If they outside the hello method, okay, if they're looking for the main method outside the hello, but the main method scope is what? Private is nothing but inside the class only. This is like a private to this hello. Private is nothing but what? Okay, it's like, okay, not public one, not public one. It is like restricted to that particular class only. So JVM is looking for the main method from outside, but here the main is like what? Available inside the hello only. So my JVM is not able to find the main method. That the reason again you can get the same error or not. So make sure it should be like what? Public one. Okay, so why you should have to follow this particular syntax only? Why not remaining means? Why? Because the JVM, in the JVM program, they written, okay, call the main method code is like that only. How they written? JVM looking for the main method, not from your program, from outside. That the reason that main method should be visible means your access modifier should be public. Your access modifier should be public. The next one is what? JVM call the main method with the class name so that it should be static. JVM is not expecting anything from you, so that the return type is like what? The return type is like void return type or not. Okay. Now JVM call which method actually? JVM call which method actually? JVM call which method?
Main method.
It's a main method, right? That's the reason the method should be main. Okay, my JVM call main method. Okay, with by passing how many parameters? By passing how many parameters? They passed, okay, a string, okay, array of strings, okay, 0 to any, okay, array contains 0 to any elements or not. Now we can see this args what it has. Okay, now I want to print hello. I want to print hello world. So how we can print hello world in your program? Okay, that means in your terminal, okay, in your Java program, if you want to print something in the terminal, okay, how we can print it? how we can print it. Okay, we have one system class how to print ln, just simply hello world, like this you can print it. What is this system, what is this out, what is this println already, okay, we discussed. In JavaScript, okay, it is equals to console message, you can say console.log. In Python we have the print is there now, it is equals to print. In your Java, that is like system.out.println. Okay, now let me compile the source code. Now see, you get the compile time error. Why? Because in Java, any statement you return, that should be, okay, that should be what? That should be ends with semicolon. But in Python, this kind of syntax not. Okay, in JavaScript also, semicolon is not mandatory. Okay, now come here. Okay, why we are going to compare with the Java and Python means, okay, see the UI side, okay, user interface side, JavaScript always we are going to use. Okay, data science now, the currently it's ruling the market. That's the reason Python should be required. So web application development most of the times is like Java they are going to use. So that better to learn this. Now come here. So can I run this? Java say hello.java. The next one is like Java hello, right? Hello. Now you can get the output is like hello world or not. Done. Now my question is, what is this org? Okay, what it has? What it has? I want to print this org. Can we print it? I have one variable is there. That variable has which kind of value? Okay, can I print it? Whenever I print this one, okay. Now whenever you do the changes in the source code, again you can run it. Now if I run this, now see, okay, it's a kind of a array object, it's printed or not. Yes or no? Got my point? Now my question is very simple. Main method who called? Main method who called, you or JVM?
JVM.
JVM people. Okay. So that my question is, if you not call, you are not the person directly pass the values, right? Whenever I call, simply I can pass the arguments like this main 10 or 20 like this I can pass it. But if you not call directly, it is not possible to pass the data or not. So who called? You said like JVM. But my requirement, I want to pass the data to the main method. So directly, I'm not the person to call the main method. JVM is calling. That's the reason. Can you give your data to the JVM? Yes or no? So how we
Yes,
can
sir.
give data to the JVM? How we can give the data to the JVM?
Through
Okay,
command line input.
JVM is coming to the picture. Whenever you run the program or compile the program, when my
And
JVM
run the program.
run the program. Whenever you run the program using this command, this is in your hand, right? Which data you want to pass? So can you pass the data like this? Okay, with the space separation. Okay. Now, whenever you pass the data, that data go to where? That data go to where? JVM.
JVM.
JVM pass this data to whom?
Main
Main
method.
method or not. So prove it. Is it really pass the data to the main method? For example, if it is like an array, okay, everyone knows, okay, if you want to take the data from the array using index, we can take it or not. Now, if you come here, okay, I made some change in the source code. Let me compile it again. Okay, let me run this. Now the output should be like what? 10 or not? Why? Because the first one is like what? 10, right? Yes or no? Now, if I pass like two players, okay, one is like Sachin, another one is like Dhoni with the space separation. Now, see, the first one is like Sachin printed or not. Agreed? Like this, you can pass the data to the which method? Like this, you can pass the data to the which method? Main method or not? Okay, still you are not the person to call the main method. Who called? JVM. So you pass the data to the JVM or not? Agreed, everyone? Okay. Now, can you talk something about the system.out.println? Okay, system.out.println. Okay, just simply write one program. Okay, system.out.println, write one simple program. Just okay, the system. What is the system? You know that one. So you can create your own. What is system here? If in Java anything is like starts with capital letter, okay, you
Yes.
can just make a class. In Java, if you see the dot, okay, not only Java, okay, if it is like a Python, if it's like a dot, okay, JavaScript or any other programming language. I don't want to discuss about .NET or something. Just take these two, okay, Python and JavaScript also. Now, wherever you see the dot, okay, before the dot, okay, this particular reference can be what? A class or
Class
can
or
Or
object.
object.
an object. Okay, here it's a class or object. It's like a class. So you are using class, okay, to call one member. If you are using class to call the member, that member should be like what? A static member or not. So my system is a class. Inside the system class, my out is what?
Static variable.
Static variable or not. How we can say it's like a variable or a method? In the system class, variables may be there, methods may be there. How we can say this out is like a variable or method? Okay, I can confidently say like variable way, because if it is a method, you have to call, you have to use like this or not. Am I use like this? No, right? That's all. Okay, so now come on. Now system is a class. Inside the class, out is a okay one variable. Whose type? Whose okay? Which kind of variable that is? Who's like static variable. Now come to this dot now. Okay, dot before or after. Dot before, it can be a class or it can be an object. Now this is the
Object.
class or object.
Object.
Like an object, right? In
Object.
class, it's not start with capital letter. Most of the times, it's like an object only. If it is like an object, it is an object of what? Object means it is an object of what? Object of one class or not?
Some
Some
class.
class.
One class or not. So my out is an object of one class. Okay. Now you are accessing okay one member, that may be variable or method, whatever it is. With object means that member should be inside where? Inside that class or not. So my out is an object of which class?
Print stream class.
Print stream, right? Print stream class. Inside the print stream class, println is what?
One method.
One method or
Non-static method.
okay, okay. It's like a normal method, instance method or not. Yes or no? So is it really that kind of okay? That kind of hierarchy only here means if you want to check the hierarchy, you can check it. So in your mission, Java already installed or not? Okay, how we can check Java installed or not? Simply you can use this command, or simply you can use this command. Okay, now I want to see the hierarchy of each and every class. If you want to see the hierarchy, I already told you Java is like a open source. Everything is like public only. For that, we have one okay command is there. Java P is the command. Make sure this command is working or not. If it is not work, then the time you can set the path. You can set the path. Okay, how the Java C, Java commands not work, then the time you set the path. Okay, same path only, Java P also there, in the same path only. So whenever you set the path for that, automatically my Java P also available. Got the point? Okay, once it is done, okay, what we have to do? I want to check, okay, I want to check the hierarchy, okay, I want to see one class members, okay, how we can see the class members in Python, you know that, okay, how we can see the class members in Python? There has dir is one method is there now, dir is one method. By using that dir method, what we can do? By using the dir method, what we can do? Okay, we can
We
see
can find all
the
the members in that.
variables and the methods. We can see the variables and the methods of that particular class or not. We can see the variables and methods of that particular class or not. Okay, same like this. Here also you can. Here also you can. If you want to see one class members, okay, say simply Java P. Okay, that class is available where Java dot okay lang dot. What is this Java dot lang? We'll discuss later. Okay, if I write like this something. Okay, Java P, okay. Your class name. What is the class name? I said system. What is this java.lang? It's a package. At the time of packages discussion, we'll see. Now tell me, in the system class, what I said. Out is which way, which kind of variable? Out is which kind of variable? Static.
Static.
There are not there. Okay, there has one more keyword also added, final. What is this final? We'll discuss later. Okay. Now static variable. Whose type is what? Whose type is what?
Object.
Out is an object. Object. So how we can represent that object type? There is an object of which class? The type is that class or not? What is the class name? Print stream class
Print
or
stream.
okay. Here java.io is a package. Okay, package. For now, just hold it. Just focus on the class name, print stream class. Now tell me about the print stream class. Tell me about the print stream class. Out is an object of print stream class. My print stream class has one method. Which method? Println, right? Yes or no? One. Yes or no?
Yes,
Here
sir.
is an object of print stream. Inside the print stream class, you are calling println means this println is the method inside the print stream class. Now, can you check about the print stream class? If you check about the print stream class, now see, this is my print stream. Okay, there has okay constructors and everything is there. What is the constructor? We'll discuss later. But focus on our thing. What is this? See, the print. There has print methods over there, and then my println methods. So many are there or not. See, my println string supported or not. Yes or no. These all are like overloading methods. Now println is there or not there? Come on. You got my point?
Yes, sir. It's there.
Okay. Now, same, just we can write, you can reproduce this kind of, okay, this kind of system.out.println and this kind of syntax, just you can reproduce. Okay. So system is what? Your class, right? Okay, just you can write it. So first I want to create one class. Sysout.java, okay, no? Okay, write it. So first, if you create a class, okay, I want to, you can write any number of classes, but you have to tell to my JVM, this class, you can start the execution first. Like this, you have to tell to the JVM or not. Yes or no. So my JVM, whenever you tell to the JVM, my JVM is looking for which method in the class?
Main method.
Main method or not. So make sure you can write any number of classes. Just run one class. Okay, whenever you run the class, whenever you give the class to the JVM, make sure that class should contains main method. Why? Because whenever you run that class, the JVM is looking for the main method. So just you can write it. And the next one is like, okay, how many public classes you can write? You know that one. Only one class you can write. Public class. What's my class name? SYS. Okay, OUT. Sort. Then now here it is looking for public static void main string args dot. Now this particular class I'm going to give to my JVM. JVM is looking for the main method, so you can write your code. Okay, what is our requirement? I want to reproduce this kind of syntax. I want to reproduce this kind of syntax. What is this system? System is what, as you said, system is what? Class, right? So that instead of using system predefined one, just I want to use, okay, the name is like my system. Okay, no? Done. Next. What is next?
Static variable.
My system contains what?
System contains out variable.
System has a out variable whose type is what? Whose type
Print
is
stream.
okay,
print
whose
stream.
type is like object. Okay, and it should be like what, static or not? So static. Okay, out. Is it like valid syntax or invalid syntax? Is it like valid or invalid? Okay, it's like invalid, right? Invalid.
Invalid, sir.
And okay, if you want to create a variable in Java, at least you have to write data type and what? Your variable name. If you not initialize the value, then the default values are going to initialize. If it is like int, default value 0. If it's like string, default value null, like that. Now come here, but out is not int. Out is an object, right? Out is an object of which class? One class. So what is the class? Print stream.
Print stream.
So can I create a class my print stream? My print stream. So out is an object of my print stream, right? So can I assign my print stream? Yes or no? Can I assign my print string? Okay, na? Okay, now tell me, how one variable is there, that variable assigned with one value, that particular value, based on that particular value, you have to define the type or not. The value is what? It is an object of my print string. So if my out is holds the object of one class, the out type should be what? That class or not? Yes or no? Agreed? I want to access this particular my print stream from anywhere, That type, okay, just can I make it like what? Can I make it like what? Public. Can I make it like public? You can make it like private also. But here, if you observe here, what we have, go to the system. Okay, see here, my out is like which kind of modifier is there? Access modifier is like public only or not? Okay, now? Okay, then. The next one is what? My outer is an object of my print stream. My outer I'm using to call which method? Println, right? So can I write? Come on, public void statica, non-statica,
Non-static.
non-static. My println. You can take some message like this or not. Yes or no? Now you can print our message, actual message to print system.out.println. I'm going to use it, that message. Done. Yes or no? Now you can write your code here. So my system is the class. Inside the class, I'm looking for what? My system is the class. Inside the class, I'm
My
looking for what?
my out.
My out or not? In the my system, okay, my out, why it's not visible?
Oh, we have
Only
written
out,
as
right?
out.
Okay, my out, can I write it? Now, my out. My out is an object of which class? Print stream. Inside the my print stream class, which method you want me to call?
My
My
println.
println.
Or my println. Okay, you can pass one message. Okay. Okay. Now, if I run this one, is it syntactically valid or invalid? Okay, syntactically valid or invalid. Wherever the statement is there, just you can end that statement with semicolon. Now let's run it. Now Java C. What is my file name? sysout.java. Now in this particular class, how many classes are there? In this one, how many classes are there?
Three classes.
1, 2, 3.
Three
So
classes.
how many dot class files generated if you don't have any? Okay, 3, right? Okay, here it gives me an error, cannot find the symbol. Okay, cannot find the symbol. Where is that one? Java 4. SYSTEM, like this, right? That's all. Now can you clear this one? Can I save it? Save this one. Now can I run it? Now syntactically it is like 100% valid, so that okay, my code compiled and created like dot class files for each and every class or not. So sys dot class, this is the sysout dot class. Okay, the next one is like this one. Okay, the next one is like what? Okay, this is the one, like this multiple classes created, dot class files created. What is the next step? Which file, which class you want me to run to get the output? This class, right? So that you can call
Sysout.
sysout class or not. So how we can execute this one? You can give this one sysout dot class file to my JVM. So can I give that sysout dot class files to JVM? Whenever you give this one to JVM, you can get the output is like hello or not. That's all. This is the way you can reproduce system.out.println. Reproduce the syntax. Agreed? Okay, up to here we completed, right? Up to here we completed or not? Okay, so for what we discussed, how to create a class, how to create the variable, okay, how to create the method, what is public static void main, what is system.out.println, okay, basic things, right? Okay, now my question is, what is constructor? What is constructor? Okay, here if you observe this, okay, in the Java P system class, okay, in the Java P, okay, in the system class, do we have any constructors? Did you observe any constructors? How we can say this is like a constructor, it is not like a constructor? How we can say?
If the method name is same as the class name,
Class name,
then it
right?
would be a constructor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Java, the method name and class name is like same. Okay, that particular method you can say like a constructor. If you see Java P java.io.print stream, do we have any print stream methods? Do we have any print stream methods? See this? Do we have any print stream methods or not? Yes, right.
Yes,
We
sir.
have print stream methods or not. So my system class is not having any constructor, but my print stream class having multiple constructors, right? So if you observe here this constructor, how we can differentiate this constructor to this constructor? This is having one parameter, this is having two parameters or not. Like this we can differentiate. Okay, now let's go and write just constructor, how it is going to work, you can see. Can write like that. Now public as just constructor, that con public static, this is common for all, because okay, you have to start your execution from one of the class. You have to give that class to my JVM. My JVM is looking for the main method. Okay, done. Now here you can write some one class, you can write it. Okay, a for example. Okay, now you can write the class is like a. Now I want to add one constructor inside the A class. As you said, my constructor is like a method whose name is like what? Your class name or not. So how we can write the method? Public void A. Can I write the method like this? Okay. Can I write like system dot out dot println, okay, A called whatever it is. Okay, now tell me, first of all, it's like valid syntax or invalid syntax? Is it like valid syntax or invalid syntax? 100% valid. Why? Because, okay, how we can check? I have one .java file is there. Maximum one public class should be there. Satisfied. Okay, which class you want to give to the JVM? That particular class should contains public static void main method, but it's not compile time error. It's like a runtime error. You may get it. I'm asking about the compile time errors only. Now here, okay, one class I written inside the class one method. It's like valid syntax only, right? 100% valid syntax. 100% valid syntax. So how we can check Java C? Okay, test constructor.java. Okay, there is no issues, nothing. Okay. Now my question is, how we can prove, okay, this is like a constructor only, this is like a constructor only, like that? How we can? If any programming language you can take it, the constructor is like a class name in Java, but JavaScript is something different, Python is something different. Python underscore underscore init underscore underscore. JavaScript constructor name itself constructor only. So in the Java, okay, the name, my class name and my method name both are like same. I said like a constructor. Any programming language you can take it. The constructor, you are not the person to call it. The constructor by default called when at the time of creating an object for that particular class. Okay, 2 points you have to remember. Constructor is like a one method inside the class. When the constructor is going to execute, you are not the person to call it. When the constructor is going to execute, whenever you create an object. So can I create an object for this particular A class? So how we can create an object for this particular A class? A obj equals to new A. Okay. Now, whenever you create an object for this particular A class, in the A class, if you define any constructor, that constructor should execute or not. So what's my answer now? Go on.
A
Syntax
call.
valid or invalid? Syntactically
Valid, sir.
valid or invalid? 100% valid. So which one you want me to run?
Test
Which
constructor.
one you want? Test constructor, right? Okay, I want to run this. Okay, just you can run it. Now, whenever you click on enter, now it's not gives me anything. But you said like what? The method name and my okay class name is like same or not? Yes, same. You said one more point also what? At the time of creating an object for that particular class, okay, that particular method is going to execute. Which method is going to execute? That method I can say like a constructor. But here, okay, this method executed or not executed? Not executed.
Not
Yeah,
executed.
so, okay, what's wrong with this?
Void should not be there, I think.
Yeah, in the constructor, okay, you are not the person to call it, right? If you call a method, okay, if you call a method like this, if this method gives me something, I can hold it or not. How we can hold? With some variable like this, right? Yes or no? If I call, okay, if I ask, they given something to me, I can hold it. Okay, but here who called? You called? No, at the time of creating an object, it is like by default called or not. So if they called, then the time they are not expecting any value from you. Okay, so okay, it should not return anything. Void also one kind of return type only. Okay, it should not return anything. That the reason they said like don't use even void also syntactically. Okay, so that whenever you write the constructor, okay, I said like syntactically, but it's not gives me syntax error. Why? If you put like void, okay, it's like a method syntax. Satisfied or not? Yes or no? If you want to use this one like a constructor, the constructor should not has any return value. Okay, any return type. Now, if I run this, okay, if I run this, now, if you come here, now my A called or not. Whenever my A called, when called, I'm not calling like explicitly obj.a or something. At the time of creating an object itself, okay, this method is like called or not. Whenever the method called at the time of creating an object, that method we can say like what? Constructor or not. Yes or no? Appear okay or what?
Yes.
Okay? Okay then. The next one. I have one small requirement I have now. I have one small requirement. My requirement is what write one simple class. Okay. You can take like a student only. That should contains like two variables. Okay. One is like his name and his roll number. I need one method. Whenever you call that method should returns okay that the student data should return the student data. Okay, whenever he return the data, that data you have to print it. Okay, let me write it step by step. First, create a class. Create a class student. Okay, na? Contains how many variables? Two variables. What are those? Name, roll number. Okay, the next one. See, I'm working with only integer data type only. Okay, there has multiple data types out there. We'll discuss later. Okay, next. One method get student info. Next, okay, above method should return name and roll number and print that return value. This is my requirement. Tell me how we can do it. If it is on the requirement, okay, how we can start? Write the program for this requirement. How we can start?
Create a class,
Create a class. Which class you want me to create?
student class.
Student class you want me to create. Okay. Okay, here, you want me to create like a student class. Okay, now onwards you can keep one thing in your mind. The requirement class is different. Okay, my class which is given to given to my JVM is like different. Like this you can write it now onwards. Okay, okay, my requirement class is different, student class. The class I have to give to my JVM, right, to start my program execution, that is like something different. So you can write like two classes. Okay,
Yeah.
the class, okay, student, test student, like this you can start with the test student. Okay, na? Okay, write it now here. Okay, this is my normal class only, this is common. Okay, test student, which contains what? Public, static, void,
Static, void,
name,
name.
string,
Name,
args.
class.
Okay, this is common for all. Okay, done. Okay, don't think more about this one. Let's go with the requirement. Let's come on.
Class,
You want me to write like a class?
student,
Test student.
Okay,
Student.
done. Next.
so create two variables inside the constructor.
Okay, so okay, inside the constructor you want me to create, or outside also it's okay. Okay, different ways you can try. Can I write like outside? After that we can write inside. One more requirement you can take it. Okay,
Yeah,
na?
if
So
name,
uh,
Name.
int name or
String
string?
name. String name.
string,
Okay,
string
so
name.
only one variable you can take it, otherwise roll number simply. Okay, yeah, anyway we are going to start with only integers, right? Okay, in the requirement just I change it like one variable, roll number only, no problem, right? If you know how to create one variable, you can create any number of variables or not. Okay, done. Next,
Get student,
the next one is like get the student info. Okay, now how you can write it?
public,
Public,
Int.
return type,
int.
okay,
int,
enter,
Return
okay, public student, okay, get student info, like this.
info.
Okay, next, what is the next one? What is the next one? What is the next one? Return. Come on, that method should return what? Above method should return, okay,
Roll,
return
roll number.
right, roll number, right? So how one method can return like this? Can I return or not? Okay, syntax, okay, valid or invalid, we'll see. Next.
Yeah, right.
What is next?
We have to create an object for the
You have to create an object for
student class.
where you want me to create an object.
Line number 12.
Line number 12. Okay, so how we can create an object? New student. This statement gives me what?
Object.
Okay, student object. What is the type of the student object?
Student.
Student only or not? In Java, the object is like class type. Okay, now after that,
System
Student
dot out
is-
dot println.
system. Okay, step by step, one more step we can write it. Student object dot.
Get
Which
student,
method you want me to call? Get
student info.
student info. Get student info. Now,
Print it.
what it's going to print? It returns me some value, right?
Yes,
So
hold.
that you can hold it. Any statement gives me one value, you can hold it. How you can hold? Can I write like this?
Yes.
What is the type of result?
Int.
It's like int. Why? Because it gives me integer value only or not. And finally, system dot
System dot out.
print
Print
the of what? My result. Done, right? Yes or no? So let's go. What do you want me to do now? What is the
Run.
next step? Run directly.
No, compile.
You have to compile it. Which command?
Java C file.
Okay. Test student dot Java, right?
Yes.
Okay. Test student dot Java. Okay. Do we have any compile time errors?
No.
Do we have any compile time errors? Okay. Can I run the program?
Yes.
Okay. How we can run it? Java. Java. My program is like test student only, right? This one I want to give it to whom? This class I want to give it to whom? JVM, right? Yes or no? Now, can I click on enter? It's working as expected or not? Yes or no? Agreed, everyone? Now, slight change I want to do. Okay, what is that change? Now, how many students you created? Okay, now you can add name also. Okay, name and roll number, get student in. How many students so far you created? How many students data? Only one student data, right? But my question is what I want to create like two students information. Okay, I want to create not one student, two students information. I want to print it. Okay, so you create a class. That class should contains variables name and roll number. One method gets student info. Now, okay, I want like, okay, create two student objects. Okay, you created like two students object means how many students are available physically? How many students available? Two students, right? Object is nothing but physical representation of your class. So how many student objects you created? How many students object you created? Two students. Those two students roll number and name I want to print it. Print those two students. Print those two students name and roll number you can print it. That is the requirement. Can you do it from your end? Just try. We'll see in the next session remaining things. Okay. Okay, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, sir.